Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We'll get started in just a few seconds. I can see that people are still joining, so we'll just give them another couple of seconds to join us. All right, so it's 2:01, and for the benefits of all of us who came here on time, let's get started. My name is Anna. I am your host today, and today we are talking about the reports. So we'll be covering the Reapit lettings reports, how to support your business, how to promote growth, and how to develop further customer success. My name is Anna. I am supported here by my team, Amanda, Taylor, and Alex. You may want to say hi to them in the chat if you feel like that. They will be very happy to see you. So in our session today, we are going to cover a few things. So we'll start with the Manager Toolkit, your agency KPI dashboard. We will also have a look at your lettings and team summary pages. Then we will proceed to the reports by certain workflows. We will have a look at your lettings and your applications reports, how to find them, how to read them, and most importantly, how to set up automation to make the system work for you. And finally, we will also mention a few of our BDM reports, but we will not be diving deep into that area. But first things first, what we're going to do, I would like to hear from you. So I'm going to bring up a poll, and in this poll, we are very keen to know which reports you're currently using. So please let us know if your favorite report at this point of time is your team report, or maybe you use your office reports all the time, your agency monthly reports, or owner's post-inspection report. That seems to be a favorite at this point of time. Nice. So weekly status reports and other, or maybe you're not using your reports at all. Feel free to let us know, because this is what we're using to create the content for our webinars. Fantastic, fantastic. So it looks like the owner's post-inspection report is the most popular one here, followed by the agency monthly reports and your team reports. This is amazing. Excellent. So I'm going to end our poll and we will get started with our webinar. Now, a bit of a tip here for you. If you'd like, if you have already logged into your account, please feel free to follow along as we go through our session today, and you may get everything set up as we go. So by the time we finish our webinar today, you will have all of your automation ready to go. All right. So let's get started. To begin with, I would like to take us all to the agency KPI dashboard. Now, to find that, we will be going to the lettings KPI dashboard. If we click on that, this is where we can see all the information about our current listings. So you will have details here, such as the properties with no inquiries in the past 7 days. If you have properties with no inspections coming up, you will be able to see it there as well. You will have details of all of your coming inspections. You will see how many properties you have listed this month, properties have been listed, and properties under your applications. On the right-hand side, you can see the running update on your statistics. Again, with regards to your properties, with regards to your inspections, how many have been conducted, how many inspections per property listed you have had, and which percentage it makes of your operations. So all of this information is very, very valuable. Now, how you can use this? You can actually put all this information in your office. Maybe you've got a large screen in the office. And this way, the whole team will be able to see and understand where you're currently at, where the gaps are, and how you can work together to move your agency even further. Now, what I would also like to talk about this point of time, I'd like to give you another example so that you can see different perspective of the same KPI dashboard. So again, information is the same, but based on what you can see here, you can see how your agency is tracking, which is a very, very valuable resource from the management and operations point of view. Now, let's have a look. Talking about the dashboard, let's have a look at the other tool that we've got here, again, called a dashboard. But this one is not your KPI dashboard. This is a dashboard that shows you everything about your agency. Again, this is your interactive tool where you can see all your current stats on lettings and applications. So this is where it sits. If you click on your lettings tab, this is where you can see information by your agency. Or maybe you would like to see results for a particular person working in the agency. You can see if they have any properties where tenants are still not registered to attend the inspection. Now, this is something that you may use when you talk to your team members. Maybe you can bring it to your team meetings, or maybe you can talk about this in your one-on-ones. So the beauty of this particular tool is that you can drill into specific details and cover things in depth in your conversations and in your analysis. We've got the same details here under your applications tools. So what else you may want to have a look at when you look at these details? Have there been any properties when there were no inquiries in the past 7 days? Maybe there are no future inspections that are for the properties that this person is looking after. What has been happening with the applications that have been submitted for their properties? There have been, maybe there was no change of the status in the past 48 hours. Now, when it's Monday morning, it's kind of understandable. When, let's say, it's Wednesday or Thursday, the applications have been submitted, but there had been no action from the staff. What does it tell us? How we can work with that to improve the current situation, and so on. The list of questions and actions really depends on your current situation, and the dashboard is here to support you with everything that you do. Now let's move on to our inspection summary screen. We all know where it sits, how to find that. We just go to lettings, summary, and the inspection summary. Essentially, this is your home page. But today, let's have a look at this page from a different angle and ask ourselves a bit of a different question. Are we doing the right things for our clients? Have we got all the follow-ups that are to be done? Are there any particular properties of concern? And how can we find all this information out? First of all, we've got this customization tool on the right-hand side. This is where you can decide what you need to see on your screen to make all of those decisions. For example, does your screen show you the lost rent? Does your screen show you the days that the property has been vacant for? Is that something that you may probably want to bring up to the front of your screen and save your view? From that point on, you can see how many days a particular property is sitting on your lists. In case like this is something that will prompt further action. But in order to do that, you need to know what is happening. Hence, we prompt you to have a look at all those details. Now, what else you can do? You can customize this view based, again, on what you need to see, and you can save this view to be your default view. So 3 action dots on the right-hand side allow you to manipulate this view, save it as your default if required, and you can also create different searches for different purposes. So you may want to have one view for your management view that acts as your management tool. You can have another view that works as your day-to-day operations tool. Now, next to our inspection summary screen, we've also got our team summary screen. Essentially, it provides you with the same type of information, but on a staff level, not on a property level. So here you can see the information about all your vacant properties, how many days they have been listed for, where you're currently at with the loss trend, with the average trend, and all the other details. Once again, customize your view, select what you need to see, rearrange those details to make sure that they work for you and they deliver the information that you need in your business. Save your view when you're done. When you may want to use this screen in your day-to-day operations, this is a great tool to keep an eye on your data. As you can see, it is quite an extensive toolkit that can help you to manage your agency, to manage your team. Now, let me also ask you a question at this point of time. Which one looks to you more appealing and why? What do you think you would rather use to gather information about your team? Your inspection summary screen or your team summary? Have you used the dashboard before? Are you using your KPI dashboard? Anything you'd like to share, please put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Now, let's move on to our agent reports. So we have covered the dashboard, we have covered the KPI, we have covered our interactive summary screens, and let's have a look at the report that the system can generate for you to make sure that you achieve the best possible outcome for your business and for your clients. For that, let's start with the office report. To navigate there, we will be using our menu on the left-hand side, scrolling down, getting to our reports, lettings, and let's start with a daily schedule. When it comes to our reports, you will see information about what is included in your report at a glance, how you can navigate these details, how you can change those details depending on your current needs and requirements, depending on what you want to achieve, depending on which period you'd like to look at, whether you would like this report to be specifically covering the actions of your listing agents or your property managers. Maybe at this point of time, you're more interested to see at the details for your BDMs. You can also decide what will or will not be shown on your report. And what's more important, you can either have a look at this schedule as you go, being this an interactive tool, or you can send it to any of the email addresses that you have given above. Probably the best tip I can give you here is to set up your automation. It is very easy to do. All you need to do, click on Add Another Report setting. This is when you can decide when the report will be sent to you, at what point of time. For example, if you have your team meetings every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, you may want the system to send this report automatically to you on Tuesday at 9 o'clock, which will give you an hour to review the details and get ready for your meetings. You can decide which period will be covered in this report, whether it will be the report for the 7 days, or maybe if you do your quick team meetings every day, maybe you just wanted to have a look at your data for today and the following day, or maybe 2 weeks' time. All depends on your preferences. Select the report period, which will be prioritized on the report, the inspectors or the day, and send their office report to a particular email address. Once the setting is saved, please don't forget to save it. This report will be automatically sent to you. So as I suggested, you will be able to have a look at this report before your meetings. You may want to send this report to your team members. Maybe you would like them to have everything saved in one place. And that's when we will be using the daily schedule individual report. For particular team members, you may set it up, get it sent to their email address daily or weekly. Again, depends on the purposes that you want to achieve. The system can support you in that. What else you can use this for? You can use those reports for your one-on-ones. When you conduct your meetings with your team members, you can go through particular areas of their work to see if there are any roadblockers that they may have. if there is anything you can support them with, all these details are there for you and work for you. So this is what comes to our daily schedule reports. Now let's have a look at our office reports. So we stay in the same area of the system, reports, lettings, and we are moving to the next tab, which is called office reports. If I click on that, once again, I will have a few options sitting here on the left-hand side. When it comes to your boss report, that's the first tab that we have here. This is the report that really lives up to its name. You can have the interactive option for the report, or you can send the report, set up automation to be sent to a particular email address. Let's have a look at this report as we go. So clicking on View Report will bring up the details in this report. So this report will give you the snapshot of all your inspections, and it has two sections. Section 1 will cover the area that requires your follow-up, and this is where you can see whether you've got any tenants waiting to organize an inspections, whether you've got any properties with no inspection times available. Maybe you've got some property that have been listed for more than 50 days. And if you click on the number, you will see exactly which properties fall under this category. Below this, you will also see your key performance indicators. You can see what is happening with your inquiries, the number of weekly owner reports that have not been sent in the next 7 days, coming out, details coming out in the next 7 days, something that has happened in the past 7 days, and so on and so forth. So this is a very, very nice source of information. Again, giving you information about everything about your operations. We have a long, like half an hour long video on YouTube covering this report in detail. So if you're interested to learn more, please click on this link and it will take you there. Also, when it comes to working with this report, you may want to look at it from the property manager level or as a listing agent. So details will be covered in the report by property managers or by your LAs. Right, now let's have a look. We'll just close this one and we're still in our office reports. We've got two more interesting reports here. One of them is your performance snapshot and the second one is your inspector performance report. Now, the performance snapshot report highlights events occurring with your office, looking at the current days, the last 7 days, and the last 30 days. It will summarize your inquiry levels, your inspections, your inquiry sources, your vacancy rates, applications received, and all of your properties. To view the report, simply click on View Report, and that's when all these details will be visible to you on your screen. You can see exactly what has been happening with your properties. You can see the average rents, you can see the properties that have been leased, the source of your inquiries sit there as well. So everything is there and it works here as your interactive report. Now, as with the rest of the report, you're also able to set up automation by adding another report setting when the report will be sent to you. Now, is there anything that you may want? What would be a particular use case for this particular report? So especially when it comes to inspector performance report, are there any red flags that you would like to flag with your team members? Bring them to your one-on-ones, bring them to your team meetings. If there have been no inspections conducted in the past 7 days, what does it mean? So what has been happening with a particular team member? So for example, here, we can see that in the past 7 days, we can see that Anna has had 2 inspections, while Artie has had 8 inspections. Why is that? So is it because Anna was on leave and she only spent 1 week in the office out of 4? Is it because she is working on something else? Or is there another reason why there is not too many inspections conducted by this particular staff member? All of this information is really valuable when it comes to you to managing your team members, to managing the operations of your business. Now, let's have a look at another report sitting here. And I would like to take you to the monthly reports. When it comes to your monthly performance reports, we've got your cumulative leasing report and also end of month calendar. Now, the monthly performance report will show you things like vacant management, your tenanted management, your new business, your properties leased, rent achieved, and everything else. So you can customize this report if required. You can add a report setting once again, deciding when it will be sent to you and when you would be receiving this report. One of the most interesting reports here would be your end of month calendar report. Now, this report can show you details that have been happening with your agency within a particular period of time. Although it's called the end of month calendar, you can set it up to bring your results for the past 2 months, for the past quarter, for the past 6 months, depending on your current needs and requirements. What you can do, clicking on 3 action dots and add a new date and time. Let's say I am interested to have a look at everything that has happened within my agency from the 1st of May up to the 22nd of June. I'm saving my changes. 3 action dots will allow me to view the report. And this is where I can see the details of all my operations during this particular period of time. How many vacant managements I had, how many tenanted managements I had, what has happened with my agency, what was my leasing performance, any property that have been withdrawn before lease, and so on and so forth. All these details are there for you. So why would you use this report? Again, they will be mostly used by the team leaders and management, covering different areas of your operations. It could be a great starting point when it comes to your weekly property management meetings. What has been happening with the agency? How is the market behaving within the past several weeks? Whatever you need, whatever you feel like you'd like to discuss based on the data, not on the feelings of the market, this report can support you. All right, so what we have done, we have covered the reports from the agency perspective. Now let's have a look at our owner's report, because what the system can do, it can also generate the report for your landlords. Let's start with having a look at the post-inspection reports. So to find them, we will be going to our lettings, inspections, and Reapit viewings. Now, Reapit viewings is the new name for our previously known mobile ROL. This is where you can find your online version of the system, which will be supporting you during your on-site inspections. To find our owner's report or to generate the reports after the inspections, we will be working on site. So I have had an inspection which I would like to use for this particular example on the 18th. So I'm just opening the results, I'm opening my inspection, and this is the inspection that I would like to talk about. So clicking on the inspection, under the tenants, I can see everything that has happened. So I, as an agent, as a leasing agent, I was there on site, I spoke to the tenants, I added all those details in the system, I saved my inspection, and once I did that, this area became available for me. And this is where the system can produce your full owner report. So your owners will see the details of the inspection. They will see how many people have registered, attended, and are planning to apply for their property. And they can also see the detailed information about all of the attendees. Now, you may have noticed that the difference between this report and the agent post-inspection report is that the owners will not be able to see any information, any private information about your prospective tenants. They will only be able to see their names and the answers that have been added to the system by the listing agent. So this is a great tool that you may want to use after your inspections and send them to your owners literally on the go. So this report will provide your landlords with instant updates on the inspection results. You know that whenever this is happening, whenever there is an open house, they will be anxious. They are waiting to hear from you about the results. but you may be very busy. You may have several inspections scheduled on the day with not enough time to update all your owners in a call. To create this report, all you need to do, save the inspection, mark the inspection details, click send to the owner. The report will be sent. Then you can do your follow-ups after your inspections. So what does it mean from the management perspective? So this is something that tells you as a manager if the team is actually using the system online or they're not using it online when they're conducting their opens. Are they talking to their tenants? Is there an opportunity for them to cover the questions? Are the questions set up right for your agency? Because everyone has got a different approach to their clients. Do you require any adjustments? Have a look at all those details and maybe talk to your team. Discuss how you can improve your workflow to make it work even better for you, to make the system work on your behalf. Again, feel free to bring it to your meetings. Feel free to discuss it during your one-on-ones. What else we can see from the system? So that particular report, the owner report, has been generated from your Reapit viewings. But from your reports in the system, under your reports, lettings, you've got your owner reports. And under the owner reports, actually, I wanted to show you something else. My apologies for that. Yeah, so it would be still sitting under the daily schedule. I just jumped a little bit ahead. So under the daily schedules, this is where you can see the post-inspection report, essentially covering the same thing, but with extra details from the agency perspective, making it a better management tool than the report that's created by the system for the landlords. From here, you can view your report. Again, you can send it to yourself or to your team members. You can add automation to create, to make this report being sent to you automatically. But if we look at the inspection report, we can see the details of our inspections by the date, when the inspection was conducted, where the inspection took place, who was the inspector, and what was the inspection results. So again, this is very, very handy and useful tool for your team meetings. Now let's have a look at the reports that I really wanted to show you and even jumped a little bit ahead. And this would be the owner reports. And these reports are being generated by the system based on your back-end settings. Now, these reports, although generated by the system, they are not being sent to your landlord automatically. This is something that the system allows you to review prior to these details being sent. Now, to find those reports, we still sit under your reports, lettings, and we are under the owner reports tab. Now, this is the very first tab, which tells us the reports, gives us the reports that have been generated and are ready to be sent. Let's have a look at this particular property here. 3 action dots on the right-hand side will allow us to view, edit, and send the report to our owner. So this is where we can see the report period, which is covered again based on your settings. You can see information for the past several days over this listing period to see how many inquiries have been received, hits on realestate.com, and so on and so forth. This is where you can also see the vacancy history, when the property is available, how many days it has been sitting on the market for, initial listing price and current listing price, if and when it has been changed. It will also show the inquiry breakdown for this particular report period, and this is where you can also add your comments, if required, for your landlords. Under the inspection information, you will see information about all the inspections that have been conducted and comments that have been added by your listing agents during the inspection. Nothing stops you from adding more information here if required. They can also, so your landlords will also be able to see information about the potential tenants who have attended the inspections, and whether they are planning to apply, have already applied, or have not decided whether they will be applying or not. Now, to change the settings for the report, this is where you can go. And a particular area of interest here would be this particular settings, display lost friends. Now, why you may want to enable these settings for some of your reports. What it will do, it will add this particular line to your report. So when the property is still vacant, and it will be vacant for a few more days, this number will be 0 and this line will be in green. However, once you are past the vacancy days, this number will be changing based on the cost of the property, and it will be changed from green to red. Now, when and why you may want to use this to send to your landlords. For example, you see that the market conditions are not right. You see that the property is a bit overpriced, maybe quite a lot overpriced for the market conditions. You keep trying to negotiate with your owners, with your landlords. They seem to be a bit reluctant to listen to you. This is when you may want to enable this setting, send this report to them. And as they see this price, this number actually growing, it may help them to review their pricing, to review what they actually want to achieve from the property, and it may make it a bit easier for you to negotiate further actions on this particular property. Again, the decision is yours, and you're able to control this setting per property level or in general under your owner report, the third tab on the left-hand side, which tells you the settings. This is where you will have the settings for all of your properties. This is where you can set the interval between your reports and a few other things based on your current needs and your approach to your properties. Save your settings so that all of those details will be applied to all of your reports. So again, use these reports to send to your landlords. Use these reports when you make your weekly landlord calls. Keep your owners up to date, adjust the reports as you go, and bring them to your team meetings again, something that may help you to take your business to the next level. Take it one step further when you work with your clients, when you work with your landlords. So now let's bring it back to you. So I would like to know which report out of those landlords reports you use most, whether this would be your post-inspection reports or the property-specific reports. I'm very curious to know which one is your favorite. Now, as the next step, let's have a look at the applications report, because as you know, the system is able to generate reports for different segments, for different areas of your business. So your reports on applications will be sitting again under your reports, applications, and let's start with the applications. So again, you've got your interactive app tracker report here, or you can use another report setting to set up automation for this report. If we click on this report and view your interactive report, it can be filtered down to information by your property managers or by your listing agents. And again, it will have two sections. The sections with the follow-up required on your current apps, and also the section with your KPIs. Now, these are all the details that you may want to have a look at when you're working with your team, when you're thinking about your processes. How many applications have been approved in the last 30 days? What is your average time to approve the application in hours? Now, this number here in training system really drags attention of the audience. But if you were to see the same in your real system, I would say that this is something that you need to pay particular attention to, because this is something that definitely influences your time on the market, your days on the market. How can you influence that? What can you change to make sure that you've got different stats here? Now, what is happening with your statuses? Does your team know how to use those statuses? Does your team actually flick through those statuses to keep your clients up to date, to keep your team members up to date? Are they working actively with the statuses? Because as you know, the status is one of the key areas of the system This is something that influences which messages will be sent out at the back of the system on your behalf. This is something that influences how the team works with your applications. What automation is set up. So if the statuses are not used correctly, chances are the days on the market are getting bigger, which is not something that we want. Chances are that the messages are not being sent out correctly. Chances are that the team is spending more time than they would have to if they knew how to use the statuses. Something that I would strongly encourage you to have a look at from the management perspective. So set up your automation, bring them to your meetings, discuss this with your team to influence that. So another report that we have with the applications and also covering similar aspect would be your weekly status reports. Again, what is happening with your applications? How many applications are currently sitting under your more information required? When have these applications been successful? What is your totals with your statuses? Think about it. Bring it to meetings, discuss it all together, because these numbers will only work for you if we actually analyze as to why we have these numbers and what would be the next step. Otherwise, it's a number on the page that just sits there based on the current stats, on your current data. So strongly suggest you analyze your data. Is your team efficient at processing the application? Most importantly, how does this influence your days on the market? Finally, another thing that I would like us to have a look at when it comes to the reports on applications is your Find Me invitation log. Now, why this area is important? This is the prospecting tool allowing you to reach out to the clients outside of your database. Find Me is the last step of your on-list report. So something again to think about, if there is no data in your Find Me invitation log, this is a question to ask your team. Do they know how to use Find Me? Do they know how to reach out to the clients outside of your database? Do they know how to prospect using these features? So talk to your team. Start by having a look at your Find Me invitation log. Now, my system is empty because this is a test account. In the real account, in your real account, whenever there is an invitation sent to the clients outside of your system, there will be a log kept in the system, and you will be able to have a look at those to see how many invites have been sent by the system. Again, if you have any questions about how to use Find Me, what this is, and how to work with those as your prospecting tools, let us know in the chat. Let us know your feedback, because we really, really want to hear from you. Based on your feedback, we structure and we plan our webinars so we can deliver the information that you need to know. All right, so finally, something else that I would like to bring our attention to, I would like to quickly mention the reports that we have on BDM. So these reports will sit under your reports, lettings BDM, and this is where you've got a few reports that you may want to have a look at. Your follow-up reports, your contact reports, your boss report, again, showing everything that has been happening with your system. Your monthly reports, your referral reports, your report for unsubscriptions, and your commissions report as well. Now, in our session today, we will not be covering all of them. I just want to remind you that your monthly report is something that will provide you with a central view for performance tracking of your agency. This is where you can monitor the progress towards your targets. This is where you can review the businesses that have been secured. And this is where you can see what activities actually contributed to your results. Now, the QR code on the right-hand side of this page will take you to the recording of the webinar that we have recently had, covering the BDM reports in all the details. And I would also like to ask my team at the back end to add a link to our chat in case it's easier for you, for the audience to follow the link from the chat to go and view this webinar. All right, so let's have a quick recap what we have covered in our session today. We have spoken about the Manager's Toolkit. We have looked at the agency KPI dashboard. We have had a look at the lettings and team summary pages, and we also looked at the system dashboard in general. We covered your agency reports, your daily reports, your post-inspection reports, your monthly reports. We looked at the boss reports. We also looked at how you can customize those reports and, most importantly, set up automation at the back end of your system to make sure that the system is sending these reports to you when you need them. Before your team meetings, before your one-on-one, before your monthly plannings, before your regular calls to your landlords, get the system work for you. Set this automation at the back end, make all these reports available to you automatically when you need them. We have also covered the owner's report, how the post-inspection reports can be sent to your owners from your Reapit viewings, and how you can monitor the details of your inspections from your reports sitting in your system. We have also had a look at our weekly reports, and we have also had a look at our application reports, the change of statuses, the active data, and everything else. So I hope that this information will support you in your business, and would also like to hear your feedback on this webinar. And of course, what would you like us to cover in the webinars to come? You may please scan this QR code, which will take you to the quick survey page, or my team will add a link to the chat that will allow you to use the link just to go to the same page and leave us your feedback. Now, with that, I would like to thank you once again for your attendance. It has been a pleasure being your host today. Huge thank you to my team working there at the back end answering your questions. And we hope to see you again at our future webinars. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.